Hello and welcome to Productivity for Solopreneurs, where each Wednesday at 1 p.m. Central Time, I share insights to getting things done. And welcome. So today is live number 114, and the topic is what's right and what's wrong with having only 3 things on your to-do list. So let me know that you're here. Say hello in the comments. And for those of you who do not know me, my name is Evie Burke, and I help women entrepreneurs in the distraction in their business so they can increase their profitability. So, like I said, today's topic is what's right and wrong with having only 3 things on your to-do list. And I'm just going to make sure that we're live and mute it so we don't get feedback. All right, so I can see your comments, so that's good. So I keep seeing a recommendation pop up on various places around, being productive and getting things done in your day and setting reasonable goals for what you can do in a day. And that recommendation is to only have 3 things on your to-do list for a day. And the first time I saw this, I remember thinking, does this person spend like 90% of their day in meetings and that's why they can only have 3 things on their to-do list? And I wondered this because another very common piece of productivity advice around to-do lists is to break everything down into individual tasks. In other words, you shouldn't have projects on your to-do list. You should have the tasks that you want to complete toward that project on your to-do list. And the reason for this is it helps you avoid procrastination. It makes things very manageable. So instead of having like one large project on your to-do list where you're like, ugh, I don't know even where to get started with it. If you've already taken some time to break it down, then it's a lot easier to do it. So how is it possible to have like 3 individual tasks on your to-do list each day and still get the things done in your business or in your life that you want to get done and make progress and meet your goals if you're only doing 3 individual tasks every day? I didn't understand it. And again, I wondered, so are they just spending a lot of time in meetings? And I'll admit it, the first couple times I saw it pop up, I didn't read it because I was like, that's silly, and moved on. But when I actually looked at the articles, what I found was they're not actually recommending that you have only 3 things on your to-do list. Instead, they're recommending that you have 3 small projects or 3 large tasks on your to-do list. And, a small project might be write a blog post. So that small project is not a large task because there's multiple steps to it. So generally, you're going to write the blog post, you're going to create or find an image for it, you're going to edit the post, after you've written it for clarity and does it say what you want to say. You're going to add it to your blog, you're going to send an email, you're going to create social media posts around it, right? So there's lots of individual steps that go into writing a blog post. And so that's a small project. So that might be one of your 3 things for the day. Again, small project. Or you might have a large task where you might have one task that's going to take you maybe an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours to complete, where it's one task, but it's a larger task. It's going to take you some time to finish. So that's why, that's going to be one of those tasks. And so for this piece of advice about having, 3 things on your to-do list, your 3 things might be write the blog post again, that's a small project. Go to a networking meeting because again, that's going to take up a decent amount of time. And while it's not a task, it is like one of those things that's going to take time. So that's going to be your second thing. And maybe have a client meeting or do client work, right? So those are 3 things. And yes, if you're looking at your list of having 3 tasks to do each day, having writing your blog post, going to a networking meeting, and having a client meeting or doing client work. Those are 3 great things to accomplish for the day. If you get those 3 things done, it's a good day, right? And you've made some money, you're moving things towards your goals because you're out there getting to know people, making connections with people, whether they're referral partners or potential clients, and you're putting yourself out there for the people who say, hey, I'm interested in receiving your content every week or every month or however often you send things out, right? So I don't disagree with having 3 small projects or 3 large tasks each day, because again, I think it's probably a good goal. Because again, if you look at those 3 things that I said, those are 3 important things to get done. And again, if you got those 3 things done every day or that day, or 3 things like that, it was a productive day, right? But there's still some things missing. So one is what we've already talked about, where they're not clear when they say, have 3 things on your to-do list each day. It's not clear that they're not talking about individual tasks. So it's a little misleading, and I'm not a fan of that. And then 2, they're also leaving out the things that you do on a daily basis, things like checking and replying to email, business social media check-ins, phone calls, any planning that you're doing. Those things that you do every single day that still need to be done, those aren't included on those 3 things, which means that there's a pretty important part of your day that's been left out. So I know when I create my to-do list for the day, excuse me while I itch my nose. When I create my to-do list for the day, I make sure I include those things that need to get done every day. And I do that because even though I've developed some habits around getting some of these things done every day that I do every day, I like to have them on my to-do list so that I have that visual reminder of how I need to spend my time for the day. Because if I don't include it, then I get to the end of the day and I think about, okay, what do I need to do to finish up? And I'm like, oh, I still have an hour of work to do because I need to check my email. I need to return phone calls. I need to do some basic social media check-ins. I might not do the more in-depth things that I would do if I had allotted myself enough time or if it was earlier in the day. So if you don't include those things on your to-do list, like you're leaving out an important part of your day. So the good and the bad of having just 3 things on your to-do list for a day. The good thing is if you're looking at it as in terms of small projects or larger tasks, yes, absolutely, good idea. What's wrong with it, or the bad thing about it, is it doesn't take into account the fact that most of the time you shouldn't be having small projects on your to-do list. You need to break them down. And the fact that it doesn't include the things you need to do every day to be successful, to get things done in your business and just stay on top of what you need to stay on top of. So even though they say to only have 3 items or 3 things on your to-do list, it's not really accurate and it's a little misleading. So maybe it's a little clickbaity, but all in all, if you take that step back and you look at the 3 small projects, 3 large tasks or some combination of thereof, not a bad idea. So if this is something that you are having a problem with, if you just have so much on your to-do list every day, or you just feel so overwhelmed you're not sure what to focus on, let's just reach out. Let's talk. Let's have a complimentary call to see what's going on in your business, how I might be able to help you, and maybe just 1 or 2 steps that you can do right now that'll help make that to-do list, make the way you approach your day a little more manageable for you. So if you are interested in that, I encourage you to leave a comment below letting me know, and I'll reach out and get something scheduled. Or you can fill out the contact me form over on my website, and I'll include a link to that in the description. And you can just let me know what it is you want to chat about, and we'll get something scheduled. So that's all I have for you today. Until next week, much love.